Kadosh. Again, we're continuing now on Daf Memtet Amud Aleph, 49A1. This is the two dots, which is 4 lines down. And we said in the Mishnah that you cannot use teven, grains, or zagin, or the refuse of the grapes, or a mochin, or different clothing, or cotton wool, or a sabin, or grass, izman shen lachin, when they are going to be moist, because then they add heat. However, though, you are allowed to do it when they are dry. So says the Gemara, Ibaylehu. So they asked in the Yeshiva, Lachim mechamat atzman or dilma lachim mechamat davar acher. When we say that during the time when they're moist, we're talking about they're moist, right, because of themselves, meaning naturally they're moist. We're talking about because you came and you made them moist, and it's still going to be asur or not. So Tashema, we're going to try to bring a proof. Lo betevim velo bezagin velo bemochim velo b'asim manchin lachin. If you're going to tell me that it's because of something else, so then shapi, that's what it means, lachim. But if you're going to tell me lachim mechamat atzman, it's because of themselves, mochin lachim mechamat atzman, how do you find mochin that it's going to be naturally moist? Say mochin is either cotton or even clothing, like leftovers of clothing, or shears of clothing. How do you have it naturally wet? So obviously, for sure, it has to be naturally moist. It's talking about that you got it moist, not that it's naturally moist. Okay? So the Gemara says, no. Mimarta de bene atzma. We're talking about the Mishnah, mochin of tzemer, which is taken from between the legs of the animal, which naturally, since the animal sweats, so it's moist. So this mochin, this wool, is moist naturally. So you can bring a proof from that. So that which Rav Oshia taught in a braita, you could do hatmana with the ksuti vesha, with clothing which is dry or dry fruits, but not with ksu lacha velo pero lachin, not with clothing which is lach or pero lachin. How do you find the clothing which is naturally wet, naturally moist? So answers the Gemara the same thing. The same thing. It could be from that it was done through the legs, meaning you sheared the wool through the legs and you made a clothing, and therefore naturally it was going to be moist. So therefore we don't have an answer to this suffix. So this question that we asked from the beginning, the question that we asked from the beginning, whether it's moist from itself, or moist from naturally, or moist from something else, we don't have an answer. Okay? Next. Mishnah. Tomnim beksutu perot bekamfei na benesoret shel charashim neoret shel pishat daka. So you're allowed to do a tmana with a ksut, with clothing, or perot, or with fruits. Like for example, here he brings down chitim v'kitniot, different types of wheat in the kitniot. Bekanfei yonah. Kanfei yonah is notzot shel yonim, which are basically feathers, right? Uvenesoret shel charashim, or nesoret shel charashim, which is basically avak, right? Which is basically when they cut, the carpenters start cutting. So they come and they have like sawdust. Okay, neoret shel pishtan daka, or pieces of pishtan of flax, which is very thin. Rav Yehuda oser bedaka umatir begasa. Rav Yehuda comes and he says you're allowed to do it with a daka, with neoret shel pishtan daka, but not with gasa. Sorry, he says you're not allowed to do it with the daka. You are allowed to do it with the big pieces, not with the small pieces of neoret of pishtan. Right? Neoret of pishtan. Let's see, we have pictures here. No. No. Okay. So let's see now. It's the next Mishnah that we have the pictures. Okay, fine. So it says the Gemara. Amar Rabbi Yanai, says Rabbi Yanai, Tfilin sechin guf naki. Tfilin need a clean body. Ke Elisha bal knafaim, just like the story of Elisha bal knafaim. So because Derech Agav that we brought down Kanfei Yonah, the pigeons, the wings of the pigeon, we bring down the story of Elisha bal knafaim. Mahi, what is it? Abaye says, what does it mean that you need a clean body? Shelo yafiach ben, you're not allowed to pass gas with them. Rava says, you're not allowed to sleep in them. Why? Because again, maybe you're going to pass gas when you're sleeping, or you're going to see keri, you're going to see a seminal discharge, right? But you have to be careful with them. So now the Gemara is going to say, why is he called Elisha bal knafaim? So says the Gemara, why was he called bal knafaim? Because once the Roman government made a decree against Israel, anybody that puts on tefillin, they're going to knock it in his head, right? Where the place where they put on the tefillin. So he says, so what happened? Elisha, he used to actually come, he used to put it on. So he didn't care, and he put it on. So what happened? He said, Yotzal Shuk, and he went out to the marketplace. So one of these Roman government generals, they saw him. So he started running. So he ran after him. Right? So he ran after him. Once he got to him, he took them off and he put them in his hand. Amarlo, he said, what do you have in your hands? Amarlo kanfei yonah. He said, I have pigeon's hands. So Pashata, he opened up his hands and he found them. So the guy didn't do anything to him, right? He thought he caught him, and all of a sudden, pigeon. What do you want?
Have a nest.
Yeah, it was a nest. It was a nest that happened. It was a miracle that happened. So why davka kanfei yonah? Why have the pigeon? So he says from the other birds. So mishum de amtil Knesset Yisrael yonah, because Bnei Yisrael are compared. Knesset Yisrael are compared to the yonah. Shnemar kanfei yonah nechpa b'kesef. It's a pasuk in Tehillim. My yonah, just like the yonah, kanfei meginot aliyah, right? Basically, the kanfot, the wings of the pigeon, they protect it, right, from the cold, right? Because it hits it with its wings. Like, for example, if not like other pigeons, meaning if somebody's going to try to come to the yonah, they'll try to hit you with its wings. Af Yisrael mitzvot meginot aliyah. So too, Yisrael, the mitzvot protect us. Okay, so.
I heard that some people, the way they tie the tefillin of the head with on two parts on the side like wings, like to remind this. Did you hear that?
Very nice. I never heard of that.
Yes.
Very nice. It's a ritva on us. Look in the footnote, and it's also Magen Avraham and Orach Chaim. That after you take them off, you make them mitzvah knafayim, like the wings. No, but very nice.
Yes.
Now it makes sense. Very, very nice. Okay, I never heard of that, but right now you're right. It's ritva bayas. Okay?
Okay.
Very good. Next, 2 dots. Nesoret shel charashim. So we're talking about the nesoret of charashim. So we're talking about the sawdust and things like that. So there it says like this. So we are going to ask, Rabbi Yehuda nesoret shel charashim kai or nerot shel pishtan kai. Did you realize in the Mishnah we had 2 different cases? Nesoret shel charashim. Then we had nerot shel pishtan daka. Then we had Rabbi Yehuda. When Rabbi Yehuda says asur aser badaka or matil begasa, is he going back on the nesoret shel charashim or dafka the nesoret shel pishtan? So says the Gemara, right? Ibai lehu Rabbi Yehuda nesoret shel charashim kai or nesoret shel pishtan kai. What is he going back on? So Tashema, we're going to try to bring a proof. The time we're going to write Rabbi Yehuda Omer, nesoret shel pishtan daka is like fertilizer, areu kezevel, and therefore it's going to be asur. Shmamina, so obviously it means that nesoret shel pishtan kai is going back on the nesoret shel pishtan. Shmamina, therefore the nesoret shel pishtan, which is gasa, is permitted. Daka is prohibited, but he wasn't going back on the nesoret shel charashim at all. Okay? Next Mishnah. Tomrim mishlachin umetaltelin otan. So you're allowed to do hatmana with shlachin. Right? So here it says, shlachin is orot shel behemot, skins of animals. So you're allowed to come and you're allowed to do hatmana with them. And you're metaltelin otan, you're even allowed to carry it. It's not muktzeh, because you could use it. The same thing with gizet semer, with types of shearings of the wool. But this you cannot carry it. So so then how are you going to take the food from it? If you can't carry it, so how are you going to take the food? Imagine you have it on the bottom. So how do you carry it then? So he comes and he says, right, as follows. He says, what are you going to do? You take off the kisui and it falls off for itself. Here it says, look. This is the picture. The hatmana is a gizet semen on the top. You see? So what do? You take off the cover and then everything falls off on its own. That's how you carry it. Because the question was, if this is muktzeh and you're not allowed to carry it, so then you did the hatmana chazak u'baruch. But then what do I do afterwards? So the answer is, take off the kisui and everything just falls off on its own. Okay, and look at the next picture as well. We're talking about, kupa mateh al tzida. Okay, we're going to speak about it in a second. Fine. So now says the Mishnah, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says, Matel tzida v'notel. You put it on the side Right? That means you tilt it on the side and then you take it. You take the food. Right? Shema yitol ve'enu yachol lachzir. Because maybe what's going to happen is that maybe when you're going to take off the kidra from the kuppah, it's going to fall around it. And then if you want to do chazara, you won't be able to do the chazara. The Chachamim say, no, notelu machzir. You could take it out and then do the chazara as well. And there's no problem whatsoever. The Gemara is going to explain why. Okay? So basically, you could take it out and put it back in. You could do chazara, right? So it says the Gemara, Yativ Rabbi Yochanan ben Achinai Rabbi Yonatan ben Elazar, Yativ Chanina ben Chama Gabayu. So they were sitting together, Rabbi Yonatan ben Achinai, Rabbi Yonatan ben Elazar, and Rabbi Chanina ben Bar Chama was sitting beside them. So they asked the question, Shlachin shel Balabait Tnan, Aval Sheluman Kevin the Capital Metaltalin Lehu, or Dilma Sheluman Tnan, the Cholshken shel Balabait. When we talk about the skins of the animals, are we talking about the skins of the animals of a balabait, of a normal person? However, though, if they belong to a carpenter or to one of these people, the skins that they deal with skins, that for sure he's makpid. Why is he makpid? Because, he's going to make clothing out of it. He's going to make things out of it. So he's not just going to stam use it. So therefore, you can't move it. Or Dilmar, maybe we're talking about avumah. And kosh can have a balabait that you can move his. So Amalahu Rabbi Yonatan ben Elazar says, Rabbi Yonatan ben Elazar, Mistabra shebalabait tznan, but sheluman kapi daleu. Oh, it's talking about a balabait. And of a numan, he's going to be makpid, and therefore you're not allowed to move it. So says Amalahu Rabbi Chanina ben Chama, says Rabbi Chanina ben Chama, what are you talking about? Kach amar Rabbi Yishmael ben Rabbi Yosef. This is what Rabbi Yishmael ben Rabbi Yosef said. Memtet amubet. Abba shal chava. My father was a person that used to be me'abed orot. He used to come and he used to work with the tannery, right, with the skins. The Amaran used to say, "Haviu shlachim v'neshevelen." Go bring us shlachim, and we're going to sit on top of them. So you see that he wasn't makpid. So what are you talking about? My father was one of these people, and he wasn't makpid on them. So fine. So the Gemara is going to ask on this shita then, Meitvei, we're going to ask a question from the Braita, Nisarim shel balabait. We're talking about pieces of wood, right? Blocks of wood of the balabait. Metaltelinotan, the sheluman metaltelinotan. So if it belongs to a balabait, yes. If it belongs to a merchant or to a person deals with it, then no. If you thought to use it during the day, meaning that Erev Shabbat, you already thought of using these pieces of wood, then it doesn't matter who does it belong to, whether the balabait or the things, you're allowed to use it. So therefore, you see from here that how could you tell me that avanuman is permitted because he's not makpid? Here also we see avanuman is prohibited. So basically what we're trying to say is that balabait, you're not makpid. But if it belongs to a person of avanuman, you are makpid with the things that you do. Right? You're strict on it. So the answer is the Gemara, no. Shan and Nisarim, it's different Nisarim, the kapi dalayu, because people are makpid on them. So Tashema, we're going to bring another proof. Orot. Okay, Ben Avudim mentioned it doesn't matter whether they already processed it or they didn't process it, you're allowed to carry it on Shabbat. Lo amru Avudim aliyan tumah bilvav, that's only to do with tumah. That the orot mubadim, they're mekabel tumah, but if they didn't, they're not mekabel tumah. My lover, we're not talking about that there's no difference between the balabait and the numan, and therefore this is actually going to be a proof that they're all going to be permitted to be metaltel, to carry them on Shabbat. So says the Gemara, no, shel balabait, only of a balabait, so therefore don't bring me a proof from this braita. Aval sheluman mai, but what about the numan? So emetaltin, you're going to tell me that you can't carry it? Ihachi, if so, had the tani that which we learned from the braita, velo amru avodil yan tuma bilvad, that we didn't say that if it was processed only of tuma bilvad. What do I care if it was processed or not processed? Right? What are these right words? Right? It says b'shel balabait, but b'shuman no, but avuman no. Okay, so he comes and he says, right? He comes and he says as follows. Kula bebalabait kamairi. Really, the entire braita was talking about the balabait, the ketanai, like a machlok ketanaim. Orot shel balabait metaltelin otan, v'sheluman em metaltelin otan. So he says it's a machlok ketanaim. With Rabbi Yosef, there's a machlok between Tanakama and Rabbi Yosef. Tanakama says orot of a balabait, you're allowed to. Avanuman, you're not allowed to. And Rabbi Yosef says you could always do it. So therefore, it comes out that you guys are coming and arguing back and forth. Is it also a vuman, not an uman? It's a machlok tanaim. Okay? So again, they were sitting down. They asked another question. That which we learned in the Mishnah later on, Ayin Gimel Amud Aleph, Avom Melachot 40 Chasrecha Keneged Mi. Why do we say that there's 40 melachot, right? Minus 1, which is 39 melachot. Keneged Mi. What do we have 39? So Amalahu Rabbi Chanina B'chama, Keneged Avodot HaMishkan. He says, what? Keneged 39 melachot of the Mishkan. So Amalahu Rabbi Yonatan Rabbi Elazar. Says Yonatan Rabbi Elazar, Kach Amar Shom Rabbi Yosef ben Lekunya, Keneged Melacha, Melachto, Umlechet Shabbat Torah. 40 Chaser Achat. There's 39 times in the Torah mentioned the word Melacha in the different ways, whether it's Melacha, Melachto, or Melechet. So since it's written 39 times in the Torah, Melacha, Melachto, Melechet, all these different forms of work, so therefore, that's why we say it's 39 Avot Melachot. Okay, which is also very, very nice. By Rav Yosef comes and asks the question, it's written Ve'evo Habayta Laso Melachto. It's written Yosef Tzaddik came and he came to do his work. And we know what does that mean, work, there's machloket. His real work or his work with his boss's wife. So it says the Gemara, Miminyanahu Olo, is that considered part of the 39 or not? So Amalei says, bring a Sefer Torah and let's count. So Milo, Amar B'chanan B'yochanan, Lo Zazu Mishamat Sheviu Sefer Torah Manum. They brought a Sefer Torah and they counted every time it was written Melacha or Melechet or Melachto in the Sefer Torah. Yeah? That just shows you what it was Chachamim. They have a doubt, you're going to sit down and you're going to break your head until you find out. Yeah? They're not moving from there until they're going to find out. They brought a Sefer Torah and let's start counting. Okay? So says the Gemara, Amalei, so Yosef said to Abaye, Kika Misafka le Mishum Dichtiv, the only reason why I have a Safek is because to do with the Tumah of Melechat Mishkan, it's written V'melacha ita Dayam. Right? So he says, Miminyanahu. There, it's from the Minyan of the 39 Melachot. Because there we're talking about Melacha, which is Melacha Mamash. This is going according to the Mandamar that says, Lasot Tzarachav Nichnas. He went in to do his own necessities. Not for his work, for his own necessities. Or Dilmar, maybe the Baita Lasom Lachto. Miminyanahu, it is part of the count. Melacha ita Dayam. And this, that there was already too much work, Hachikaman means that they finished the work. But it's not that they actually did work. They finished the work. So it's not Teiku. So because of that, we don't know. Meaning that for sure, really, Be'emet, we have an extra one. It's either the extra one, which is Yosef, or the extra one, V'melacha ita Dayam, later on to do with the Tumat Mishkan. So the reason why is because maybe the one of Yosef is included, and the one of the Melacha of the Mishkan was because they finished the work. Or maybe the one of the Mishkan was included, because that's work, and the one of Yosef was not included because he was doing his own necessities, not Be'emet work. So because of that, I don't know which one's which, Teiku. I don't know which one. But for sure, there's going to be 39 that we're talking about, just an extra one which is not counted. So Tanya...
But when they counted 41?
No, they counted 40, because there's always one extra. There's 39 Melachot, but there was an extra one. We don't know if the extra one was the one of Yosef or the extra one was the one of the Mishkan.
Okay.
Okay. So next, Tanya, we learned in Braita, Kimandamar Keneged Avodot Mishkan, right? According to the Mandamar that it's going again, according to the Avodot Mishkan, the Tanya was learned in Braita, En Chayavin Elam Melacha Sheketzeba Mishkan, right? We're not going to be Chayav Mita or Karet B'mezid or Archatat B'shogeg, meaning there's no penalties, there's no punishments, only on a melacha, which was like in the Mishkan. Hem zaru v'atem lo tizrau. They planted in the Mishkan, so you shouldn't plant. Hem katsu, they reaped, you shouldn't reap. Hem yalu takashim, they put up the blocks or the Mishkan from the karka, right? V'atem lo tizrau, don't do hotzah. Hem uridu, they took it down, the karka, don't do hotzah. Hem utziu ma'agala la'agala, they went from one to another, one wagon to another wagon. Atem lo tizrau, don't do. So therefore, it comes out that it's much more, right? The Braita is much more inference, right, to the Mandamar, that it's exactly like the rules of Mishkan. Nothing to do with the words of Melacha, to do with the Mishkan. So ask the Gemara, the Shuta Yachid, my Kavi. What's the Isur if I'm carrying it from one Shuta Yachid to another Shuta Yachid? Just like I was taking it from one Agala to another Agala, from one wagon to another wagon, the Krashim. So answers the Gemara, no. You were taking them from a private domain to another private domain, but there was a public domain in the middle. So since there was a public domain in the middle, That's why it's going to be asur. Okay? Fine, the 2 dots. Let's just try to finish the amud, and then we did the next daf. We're talking about you're allowed to do atmana with gizet semen, with shearings of wool, but you're not allowed to move it. So Amar Rava says, Lo shanu ela shelo tamam bahen. That's only if you didn't do atmana. But if you did do atmana, you're allowed to use it. So this is a proof to what we spoke about before, that if you used it for atmana, you're allowed to actually carry it. So the Rava, there was a student that he was that day in the Bet HaMidrash, which there's a famous Gemara, why exactly is he called that, right? That he went for that day. And he asked the question from Rava, 1 second. If you're allowed to do atmana be'izet semen, but you're not allowed to carry it, so how do you do it then? So says the Gemara, Nuna Mudalif, you take off the kisu, you take off the cover, and then they just fall out by itself. Right? So therefore, if the Mishnah is talking about that you did atmana, so this is a proof that it is muktzeh. Because if not, why do I have to take it off? Just touch it, do whatever you want with it. So li'itman hakim, and this is what he's saying. Rava says, Lo shanu ela shelo yichadal atmana, if you didn't designate it for atmana. But if you designated it for atmana, then you are allowed to carry it. Which means, in our Mishnah, we're talking about that you didn't designate it for atmana. You just did atmana with it, but it wasn't designated. So if you were to pick up the cover, then it's going to fall off. But if I designated it from now on, I'm going to use it for atmana. You're allowed even to move it, to carry it, and there's no problems whatsoever. Av muktzeh.